Okay, team, this is one of my more passionate topics, and I'm talking about your transverse abdominis. In my opinion, one of the top 3 most important muscles in the body and one of the more misunderstood. I will jump on my PT soapbox for a moment and just say that the transverse abdominis is very, very different from the rectus abdominis. If you want to call it the core, that's fine, I don't care. But it does the action of drawing your stomach in, period. There's so many people out there who are used to combining it or even just describing it as a posterior pelvic tilt, okay? Hold your back flat, flatten into the table, press down into the table, tighten your abs, all this stuff. And I just don't know that that really hones in on specifically the transverse abdominis. And that muscle is so important because it increases the stability of our torso, right? I love this visual, but say you're standing and you've got a friend hooked in your arm here and a friend hooked in your arm here, and both of those friends take a step to their side, right? Take a step away from you. That's gonna decrease the ability for you to move anywhere, right? You can't really go side to side, you can't really go front to back, okay? You're the lumbar vertebra and your friends are the transverse abdominis. So when we contract that muscle, okay, horizontal fibers, it not only stabilizes the lumbar vertebra based on the attachment to the thoracolumbar fascia, but it also increases the pressure of the abdominal cavity. So just like if you had a balloon and you take a string and you wrap the string around the balloon gets smaller where the string is, hence the muscle, and lengthens, right? So any stability that we can have in the spine is gonna put less pressure on your discs and really get people through back pain. We know that that muscle shuts down with people who have had back pain, and also while they are having back pain, we've done diagnostic ultrasounds on it and we've seen fatty deposits in the muscle. And it's just wild how normally even if you're thinking about moving your arm, that muscle should fire anticipating your arm movement, okay? And when that shuts down, think of all the shearing and compressive forces that you're putting on your lumbar spine if you don't have that nice little hug. So real quick, anatomy lessons. Origin, and I do not have this memorized, I'm totally cheating. Origin, iliac crest, ilioinguinal ligament, thoracolumbar fascia, and costal cartilage 7 to 12, and then insertion, xiphoid process, linea alba, pubic crest, and pecten pubis via the conjoint tendon. So it attaches to a lot of stuff, right? It's the innermost layer of your stomach, and the point of this video is to prove that it's very important and very important to train well, and is tricky, right? People will not have that neural connection to that muscle. They'll go to flex something, anything, their glutes are firing, they're bearing down, they're doing a Valsalva, all this funky stuff, and it's not necessarily the transverse abdominis. So, one exercise that I've had great success with to get people to find that muscle is actually quadruped. So in quadruped, you can cue the people to let everything in their abdomen relax, so all of your abdominal contents just hanging down. And when they do that, try to get them out of the habit of dropping their back as well, right? So we need dissociation between that muscle and your lumbar spine. Case in point, if you go to squat or drop down low and lift something heavy, okay, if you're not drawing in and you're doing something either way arching or way rounding, especially doing that that rectus abdominis, posterior pelvic tilt, when you go to lift, you're not gonna have that neutral lumbar alignment. So hands and knees, everything in your abdomen relax, and hopefully you can see that the thickness of my abdomen has increased right now, right? Gravity is taking all of my intestinal organs down towards the table, down towards the ground. Neutral spine, you're simply gonna draw your belly up, okay? So from a relaxed position, drawing up towards the ceiling. I am not flexing as if you were gonna kick me in the stomach. I am not bearing down as if I were to, we'll just leave it at that, bear down. I am not holding my breath. I'm also not sucking in my breath. So nothing, your diaphragm muscle and your transverse are different muscles, right? We need to teach them as such. So all it is drawing your belly up, holding that, and making sure that your spine stays completely still. And then relax, let everything, I love the phrase, meh. So just meh, relax everything, just let everything hang. And even if they're hanging out on their arms, I don't care, like just try to relax your stomach and then draw in. And whatever phrase resonates with them, so whether it's suck it in like you're at the beach, or give your intestines a hug, or hollow out your abdomen, whatever works, repeat that phrase and kind of hone in on that for that person, because that's how they're gonna remember and that's how they're gonna associate. After you do hands and knees, then you can go on your back and it's the same thing. So remembering what that feels like, and if you need to, you can kind of activate your Buddha belly, puff up, and then draw in. So the key is to not draw in and flatten, right? I see that so often, and it's super important in a neutral or extension biased lumbar program, okay, i.e. disc program, to not go into flexion. So why would we want to draw in, engage our rectus abdominis, our sit-up muscle, and also flatten into that table? I see a lot of people kind of doing a right? Like my abs, my stomach is rock hard right now, but I'm putting more pressure into my abdomen because I've done the someone's gonna come over and punch me in the stomach, okay? So drawing in makes the abdomen more narrow from a side view. Sometimes people have a good connection with thinking about drawing these hip bones, your ASISs, towards each other. Other people can palpate the muscle here and try and feel that drawing in. Whatever it is that you can do, but see if they can draw in and nothing else happens. You're gonna be breathing, you're not taking massive big belly breaths, right? But you should be able to breathe. So then, layer number 3, drawing in, crunching up, and maintaining that draw in. So many people I see crunch up and their belly goes up towards the ceiling, okay? So it should be drawn in the entire time. Your visual connection, not only the act of looking down, but seeing the muscle can be helpful. So usually I teach my crunches in a 3-phase motion. So draw in, crunch up, look down, draw in again, and then lower down. The higher they crunch up, the harder it is for them to be able to draw in, but that's where your limit is. When I first learned these, I could only crunch up to here and still stay drawn in. In a perfect world, we're able to curl all the way up while still drawing in. So see how that works for you. It's challenging, but I do feel that it's super important. Have fun.